So today I want to talk about Sarah Sainsbury again. Concerning the northern dogs in general and the racism that I see within the rescue community towards the people from up north. It's going to be a long conversation because I'm not joking about her liability of putting a puppy that turns out to be a weapon in the hands of the public because she is incapable of domesticating a wild animal. The first argument and the only argument that I hear is, but it's a puppy. Yeah, so what? It's a puppy. Still comes from a lineage of undomesticated northern dogs. Their natural animal instinct is to fear humans. But people with help a dog-itis think this dog is so beautiful. He can't be so mean. He's such a little sweetheart. Because he's so beautiful. Look at his eyes. Of course, we're talking about a white husky with blue eyes. So these reasons these people have this help a dog-itis is because up north, I forget how often, but if I'm not mistaken, it's once a year. If the dogs don't have a collar in their neck, they get shot from the helicopter. That's pet population control. Which is not really pets, because if they don't have a collar, they're considered wild dogs, feral dogs. They don't have an owner. So let's agree that Bob Barker would not agree on this method of pet population. It would be a spay and neuter program, which is what started happening. Veterinarians offered their services for free to the northern communities. However, that brought back a lot of racism back down south. Now, the ethical thing would be to spay and neuter and release the animals back where they belong, in the community. However, that's not good enough. We need to rescue now these dogs because of the help a dog-itis. We can't leave these puppies fending for themselves like wild animals. So we're going to take them in, and we're going to find them nice homes. That's how we fall with problems like Sarah Sainsbury and the puppy that she recommends be euthanized after it is now fully grown up. And nobody can control this dog because it has a fear and an aggression reaction towards humans. Cat people will know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to feral cats and the TNR, trap, neuter, and release programs, where the cats never get released. Now, I'm going to be blunt right now, and I'm going to put the blame on TNR. TNR is the problem that creates hoarders, and it's the other problem that creates dangerous weapons that are now roaming the streets of municipalities instead of northern reservations or communities. I would even go as far as to argue that the actions of Sarah Sainsbury contributed to this puppy's cruel life environment that she put him in. Under the MAPAC P42 Quebec laws, that is animal cruelty. And I'll even help you define it. Inappropriate living conditions Normally we apply this law on hoarders, filth. But I can apply this theory and this argument to the puppy at hand because of the environment he was raised in. The rescue community that has Help-A-Dog-Alitis created a cruel environment for a dog that should have never have found himself or herself wherever it is right now. So you created a weapon and you created animal cruelty. Now a little recap on the history of the TNR program. Did you know that under the MAPAC P42 Quebec law, anybody who recommends that a crime be committed is guilty of the offense as if they committed the offense? And we all know where the problem lies. Is within these people that are involved in the TNR that do not release the animals. Most of the time, they're associated with a rescue. So the TNR program needs to separate itself 100% away from the rescues because that is a conflict of interest. So now it's time to throw out some names, such as Sterianima, of course the Animal Rescue Network, and all of its volunteers, which are actually recommended they go volunteer there by the ex-director, which works for youth protection. So her problem to fixing the mental health of children is to send them into a rescue to go play with some cats or open their front door so that she can bring in a dozen cats so that they can play with. Now let's talk about the Douglas and the pet therapy program there in Raymond Plouffe, Sophie's best friend since high school. Let's not forget that he was a patient before he became the pet therapist. He created the program, and when he retired, they shut down the program. Ain't that ironic? So one might ask, what is the crime that Sarah and her followers committed? Well, it's providing an improper living environment. By sharing these posts that this dog is looking for a new home in Montreal, is contributing to the crime at hand, the animal cruelty. Now, the people that are liable for the pet therapy problems that are faced in the animal rescue world is Raymond Plouffe and Barbara Lisbona. They're both considered professionals that work with children who have mental health issues. So they contributed to the problem at hand, where adults now have this Help-A-Dog-Alitis disease. So, since we're playing with jurisdictions now, and these people want to rescue from the northern communities that have a right of self-governance, and the rescue community that is so right-wing dictatorship ideology is not going to have to deal with the Canadian laws, the Quebec laws, the white man's laws. And I just shit you a fucking shitload of information that you can now do what you want with it. MAPAC knows all this. MAPAC, to fix the problem, offers a permit to rescues where they can now track where every animal goes and whatnot. However, for Sophie's Dog Adoption, they sent us a fucking restaurant permit. So the next step is we're going to start cooking these dogs and we're going to start serving them because we have a fucking permit.